It looks like AMD is going to continue to slaughter the GPU department, which is massive graphics card designs. Intel looks to keep up with AMD by releasing 2 CPUs this year, and we finally get the best looking GPU that I've ever seen. We're going to get into all of that for today's episode of Hot News. And in case you're new around here, I'm Brett. I'm the host of Hot News, where we talk about the latest stuff going on in the realm of tech news, computer stuff, and just general gaming things. Let's get into the news after we talk about today's video sponsor. But friends, today's video is brought to you by Privacy. Privacy lets you buy things online using virtual cards instead of having to use your real ones, which protects your identity and bank information on the internet. And right now, new customers will automatically get $5 to spend on their first purchase. So go to privacy.com/hot news to sign up now. So it's not some secret that there's always rumors with regards to AMD about them having gigantic, massive improvements that are happening on their GPU sector. But the latest one is quite an intriguing one to look at because it says that AMD is going to have 80 compute unit chiplet designs for Navi 31. This would mean that the next generation of AMD graphics cards would be double in size compared to the current 6900 XT using 2 different dies. Now, the big reason that this matters is because AMD looks to have perfected the way that they can use multi-chip modules just like they have on their AMD Ryzen processors, so that we're not going to have some of the lag that was introduced with multi-chip cards in the past, such as with Crossfire or SLI. It looks to be like the way of the future, with Nvidia also potentially slated to introduce this type of design with their Hopper architecture, which is expected to come sometime soon as well. AMD getting in on the 80 compute unit chiplets would be a massive deal, and it having 2 of them would mean that we would get intriguing levels of performance. Combine that with AMD saying that they're going to try to get RDNA 3 to be the same performance per watt improvement that RDNA 2 was over RDNA 1, and we're looking at a mighty fine GPU in the first place. It was actually quite surprising that AMD came out so heavy with RDNA 2, so any rumor that's pitting RDNA 3 to be better than Nvidia is actually a little bit more believable after what AMD has done this year. But what Intel plans to do this year is launch 2 sets of CPUs. The first one we already know about. Intel has already talked about them. That is the Rocket Lake that we're expected to get sometime in March. Now we have some indication on Alder Lake, which should launch sometime in September, according to the latest source, saying that we're going to get the 12 series CPUs as well as 600 chipset motherboards. This appears to be like Rocket Lake is going to be another KB Lake situation. KB Lake, in case you're not familiar, I believe launched in February of 2017, and then by the fall it was replaced by Coffee Lake and therefore wasn't relevant anymore. It almost seems like Rocket Lake is going to have that type of lifespan, so we'll have to wait and see if this is true, but it does seem to be like Intel is trying to move forward and get past 14 nanometers, with Alder Lake being their first 10 nanometer introduction into the mainstream desktop space. And before we get into the best looking GPU that ever was, just want to give you a quick note that GeForce now is rolling out to some more areas. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Australia all getting the cloud streaming service from Nvidia, which is the cheapest way to get ray tracing on. This isn't a sponsor segment. I just legitimately enjoyed GeForce now, but I legitimately enjoy a good white graphics card. A lot of the companies that have been introducing them lately, such as Zotac and Asus, have been doing it poorly because they forget one thing, and that is the PCB. And we now have images of the Galax 3090 Hall of Fame, as you can see right here, has a white PCB on top of what they're expected to show off as a white shroud with a giant display being attached to the actual graphics card. This is something that Galax always does right every single generation. Whether or not the performance is correct, at least the aesthetic is done properly. Giving us a white PCB with a white shroud is the way to do it. Galax always gets positive points in my book for that, and can't wait to see it. And now just a quick word from our sponsor Privacy before we get back into the tech news. Privacy is a tool that makes it super easy to manage your financial lives online while keeping most of your important information secure. By giving you a virtual card number, Privacy hides your real bank information, so you never have to worry about giving it out to people you don't know online. You can set up a merchant card that can be used as many times as you want with that specific merchant, so that if there's a data breach, you're going to know about it before they even inform you. And you can make sure that you're never accidentally billed twice without your consent, or you can set a spending limit of $11 a month for your Netflix subscription, so that if it ever increases, you're not going to get charged without going through those difficult customer service hoops to cancel. You can just make sure it's all taken care of on your Privacy card. You can also pause all of it without having to contact anybody. And they also have an easy to use Chrome and Firefox extension to make everything work in just one one click. By automatically detecting checkout fields on a web page with just a click, you can create and autofill a dynamic number into the checkout form, and you can also easily and safely share your cards. No copy and paste, no screenshots, and the recipient won't need a privacy account to access the shared card. You just click the share button when viewing the card, enter an email address to share with, and privacy will handle the rest. This is great for small businesses of a team where you don't want to have to give out a specific company card. And you can easily view your overall purchases on the summary pages, and now you can organize your privacy wallet even better with their new feature tags. Privacy makes it easy to not only safely shop on the internet, but also make sure you're shopping wisely. So again, right now, new customers will automatically get $5 free to spend on their first purchase with them. So go to privacy.com/hot news to sign up now. And I can't wait to see Corsair's new MP600 Pro SSDs, which are expected to have up to 7 gigabytes per second read and write speeds, which would put them about as fast as you would expect. Still not fast enough to be certified for the PlayStation 5, but still quite speedy. Now, if you ever thought that sneakers and computers don't mix, I have a video to show you that shows that they indeed do. Artifact Studios has now paired up with NZXT. You can see this video right here. It looks quite creative. However, it is completely fake, but that's part of NZXT's partnership with them. They're sponsoring the team of 3D artists who make this type of stuff, with providing them a bunch of different computers to actually get that done, with apparently Artifact saying that they sometimes take up to 24 hours to render a single image, and they want to make sure that they can do it. And NZXT is not sure what the partnership is going in the future. They just want them to create cool stuff at the present. That sneaker setup is actually pretty cool. It's wild, but it's also fake. What's also fake is augmented and virtual reality, but our brains get tricked into thinking that it's real, and Apple wants to trick your brains into viewing their augmented and virtual reality setup, with new reports indicating that Apple should have VR and AR setups coming out in 2022 and 2023, which is apparently the time frame that AMC movie theaters are going to remain solvent for, with AMC theaters announcing that they have been able to get $917 million in financial assistance through debt capital and equity, which allows them to push bankruptcy off the table right now until deep into 2021 and hopefully get out of this COVID slump that they've been in. But it doesn't help the fact that companies like Warner Brothers are making it so that HBO Max are going to start streaming them at home, making it so that people like me are actually just going to enjoy movies in the comfort of our own homes. I can tell you one thing I never enjoyed in the comfort of my own home was a Firestorm game through Battlefield 5, because as far as I know, it was just a massive flop. Well, Battlefield 6 looks to be a soft reboot for the franchise with a modern setting, 128 player PvP and Battle Royale modes included. This was the big thing about Battlefield 5, that I was going to have Battle Royale, and then it ended up being an afterthought, and then it just never actually worked out really well. We'll see if they can continue to do that. EA's not having the best track record when it comes to what they've done with Battlefield in the recent history, and neither has CD Projekt Red with regards to Cyberpunk, losing a lot of people's good graces with that. But the first big patch that CD Projekt Red promised is now out. Patch 1.1 addresses memory issues and crashes that have been there, as well as a bunch of different fixes, which you can see in their patch notes right here. However, looks like it also introduced a game-breaking bug where you cannot continue with a mainline quest if you don't do it in this specific workaround style. If you do it with the way the game presents it to you, then you actually get infinitely stuck and you're not actually able to beat the game, and they're working to fix the bug that their new fix introduced into the video game. Solid stuff, CD Projekt Red. And Microsoft also solid stuff, rolling out something that then has to be rolled back because it's not quite good enough. Microsoft on Friday, in case you didn't hear, actually announced a price hike to their games with gold setup for Xbox Live, announcing a price doubling at the time. However, after the internet lost its collective crap, it turns out that it got changed to actually be better than it was before, with Microsoft not only rolling back the price hike, but then making it so that the Xbox Live Gold subscription doesn't need to be purchased for free-to-play games like Fortnite, and then a bunch of platitudes about how they're not necessarily going to screw you over and make things worse than they already have made them, which is just really intriguing. Were they just trying to see if they could get away with it in like a Scooby-Doo villain type scenario? We would have gotten away with the price hikes too if you weren't for you pescling people who want to hold on to your money. Just a really, really odd move altogether. But hey, at least you can floss with your friends for free.
Stop it. Get some help.
And lastly, let's talk about the last little gaming company to just screw everything up. Blizzard announced that Vicarious Visions, who was responsible for the recent Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake that has happened, they are being gobbled up and now being made to make games like Overwatch and World of Warcraft instead of, you know, redoing games like they showed that they're good at. So no more Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, even though that was apparently a financial success. It doesn't matter. You're getting more Overwatch, and you're getting it from the people who can make really good skateboards. Don't you guys have skateboards, okay? Don't you have phones? Go skate outside while looking at your phones, okay? That's how you're supposed to be doing this. You don't need a skateboarding game. And you don't need this episode of Hot News to continue any longer. So that's where I'm gonna wrap it up. Let me know what you thought of all of the articles we talked about today. Don't forget, while you're down there, to check out today's video sponsor. So don't forget about today's video sponsor, Privacy. Check them out at privacy.com/hot news. You'll get $5 free to spend with them when you make your first transaction with them. Protect your privacy online with your card information, and also make sure you're tracking your spending habits. It's a great tool to have. Privacy.com/hot news, my friends. And with that being said, I'm Brett with the Hot News channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow with the latest round of tech news that's going across the internet. Cheerio, chip, goodbye. They see me flossing. They see me flossing. Flossing. I need a hobby.